What is up, Thunder fans? Welcome back to the Bring the Thunder podcast. Today is the day for our weekly episode. First, before we start, I'm going to give a shout out to everybody who likes and subscribes and comments and just watches our content. We love hearing from you guys. We're so thankful that a lot of you are sticking for the ride here. And we're gonna get right into this episode. We hope you like it. Again, if you are enjoying the content, just leave a hit the subscribe button, leave a like, comment. Especially this is a lot of opinionated episodes, so leave your opinions in the comments and we'll get to them as soon as possible. But with that being said, the NBA schedule for the 25-26 season is officially out. Finally, some real news that we could talk about, that we could really get into. Crazy schedule. Oklahoma City with 34 nationally televised games, tied for most in the league. One of the smallest markets in the league has the most televised games. I'm very happy that the NBA, did the right thing, especially after this past season where, the reigning one seed in the West barely got any nationally televised games. But we're just going to highlight, some that are really intriguing to us. And I'm going to let Jack start. Jack, just break down a few that really pop off.
Obviously, we have the Houston Rockets for opening night. Katie gets to see us raise a banner, get on rings, so it's pretty neat. Christmas Day, we have the Spurs at home, finally back on a Christmas Day game. Not sure why the Spurs are here, but they are.
Can I comment on that real quick?
Yeah, for sure.
Why the Spurs? That's 2 seasons in a row the Spurs are getting Christmas games. Yes, they have immense potential to be great in the coming years, but come on. Anyway, continue. I just had to get that off my chest.
I know it's stupid, but New Year's Eve we're playing the Trailblazers again. And then the weirdest one is just posted today. The NBA has revealed Rivals Week, where the Thunder and their big rival is the Milwaukee Bucks, which no one knew about. I don't really.
You didn't know about that? Wait, you didn't know about that?
I must be living under a rock with everybody. It's stupid how they could just label that as a rivalry. I mean, to think of a few, we got the Nuggets, the Mavs. I mean, the Pacers you could throw in there, like,
but even throw Houston in there. But even throw Houston in there.
But we play Milwaukee twice a year, and
twice a year. There hasn't really been any bad blood between the teams. There has been bad blood through us. I mean, Kyle Kuzma definitely does not love the podcast, but other than that, I don't understand the rivalry.
Unless they're trying to build off the NBA Cup, but for us, it wasn't even a game. Like, that was just a scrimmage. We looked past it, but
the NBA Cup still confuses me. Good for the players on getting that extra, $100K or whatever, but that's still confusing me. I also want to point out a few of these games on Rivals Week. The Rockets and the Pistons. Maybe at one point they would be called rivals, but I don't believe they're rivals
today.
I would see, like, if Jalen Green was still on the Rockets, maybe that would still be a rivalry because Jalen Green and Cade Cunningham won 2 in that draft. Don't get that one. Apparently, the Warriors and the Lakers have a bunch of rivals. They're getting a bunch of recognition during that week. And another game, Cleveland and the Charlotte Hornets. They didn't know that was such a big deal. I mean, I must be living under a rock, like Jack said. Let me know if you guys, were on top of this and you know more ball than I do, because I did not know Cleveland and Charlotte were rivals.
Didn't even hear about that one until now, so that is ridiculous.
Yeah, that's on the same day. So Wednesday, January 21st, 7 o'clock on ESPN is Cleveland, Charlotte. 9:30 is OKC and Milwaukee. Huge rivals. Anyway, Jack, another question for you. Yeah. We have a 5-game stretch toward, later part of the season. Starting Wednesday, March 4th, we start in New York to face the Knicks, televised on ESPN. Home against Golden State, ABC. Home against Denver, Peacock. Home against Boston, Prime. Home against Minnesota, ABC. When has OKC ever gotten this much recognition, and how good does it feel? I mean, 5 straight games nationally televised in a row. This is fantastic.
Yeah,
I'm super pumped.
me too. I'm pumped, and it means nothing to me because I'm not in America, so none of these streaming platforms. I just watch it through NBA TV, but having that is pretty cool. Like, just the recognition. Finally, like you said, last year we didn't really get the recognition we deserved, but finally they're waking up, and I think we're tied with the Lakers and the Warriors, or the Lakers and the Knicks, maybe for the
Yeah,
most nationally televised games, which is
yeah,
pretty sick.
super awesome. And speaking of those platforms, and we got new, in America here anyway, we got new platforms we're watching these games on. TNT is officially over. They've transferred over to NBC. Um, First game of the season for us, the Houston game is on NBC. Obviously, ESPN stays around, which a lot of us, maybe thought they should have been the ones kicked to the curb, but that's fine. But we got NBC this year. We got Amazon Prime making an entrance into the NBA. They have a lot of dates. They have like Sundays, Fridays, Saturdays. Like they have the whole weekend on Amazon Prime. They got Peacock coming in on like Mondays and like Tuesdays and Thursdays. It's very interesting. It's definitely a new generation of the NBA in media, and I feel great about these platforms. I know that NBC has some great commentators and broadcasters on their team. I also heard that Michael Jordan will be one of the analysts for NBC, so that's pretty exciting. Um,
Wow,
I,
that's
I have, yeah, Michael Jordan. That would be pretty cool. Um, I haven't heard much about the others. Hopefully Doris Burke still isn't on ESPN because that's the one that kind of hosts the finals still, ABC and ESPN. But I mean, this is all exciting to me, man.
yeah. I had a couple stats here. So the Thunder's longest road trip is 5 games from March 17th to March 25th. They play the Magic, Nets, Wizards, Sixers, and Celtics. And then on the flip side, their longest homestand is 5 games from March 27th to April 5th. They play the Bucks, Knicks, Pistons, Lakers, Jazz. So
Yeah,
I think
I
that home stretch will be really cool.
yeah, I
With
did
the
notice while looking through the schedule here. I think the NBA is really cracking down on traveling. There's a few stretches where OKC's home for 4 games, away for 4 games, but all in the same area. I believe that the NBA is really trying to not tax their players as much with the travel, with the games, because obviously we've been seeing some injuries that haven't been ideal to star players. So looking through the schedule, I mean, even the road trips, which is normal, but I mean the Brooklyn, Washington, Philadelphia, Boston, it's all in the same area. We play all out west, Denver, Lakers, Clippers, all in a row. So it's cool to see the NBA, paying attention to the injuries and making, sure their players are not as taxed as they've been over the past few seasons.
And on that, we have 13 back-to-backs, which makes up, I just Googled it now. I'll be honest with that, but about 32% of our games will be back-to-backs. I remember last year we had maybe 18, I want to say. So
Yeah.
a lot less, which is really good. Just more on that, like injury management and all that. And then probably the biggest news of the schedule release, the Wizards come to OKC on October 30th. And if you're there, you'll be able to see Dylan Jones receive his championship ring. So
Shout out
that is a
Dylan
game to
Jones.
watch.
Shout out
Might be able
Dylan
to get
Jones.
some cheaper tickets and see
Yeah.
Dylan Jones.
But yeah, again, like we said, the schedule looks amazing. Back-to-back games to start off the season on television. We got NBC and ESPN. Like I said, I'm super excited for NBC. So Jack, I don't even know if you know. Years ago, the NBA was on NBC, and the theme song was like. I know you've heard it.
Yeah, for
I
sure.
believe that's making a comeback as well, so I'm pretty excited for that. And I mentioned Jordan, and they have good broadcasters going up. I think one of Minnesota, the Timberwolves broadcasters, will be on either Prime or NBC. I can't remember, but he's good. They got good talent going over there. So I am happy in a sense that it's not Doris every night or like Reggie Miller every night. Um, but on the other hand, I mean, do you think like this is too much? Like all these different streaming platforms, you got NBC, ESPN, Prime, and Peacock this year, along with ABC, which is pretty much ESPN. But I feel like both sides. You could argue both sides. It's better or worse.
Yeah. I just don't like the games that are streamed where they cut out Michael Cage and Scott. What's his name? Nick Fisher.
Mhm.
Um, because I just automatically switch to their stream because I really like what OKC has in terms of broadcasters. But I think
Right.
it's good to have that diversity of broadcasters, especially when some can be so annoying, so they won't be on as much. I don't really know what it looks like in terms of Americans having to buy like 10 different streaming platforms just to watch every game, but that's not my worry at all. So
Yeah. So I
from
mean, one thing I can explain with it is a lot. Like you're gonna have to get Prime. You're gonna have to get Peacock if you want to watch. The good thing is a lot of NBA fans, do watch the NFL, and the NFL has already been doing Thursday night games with Amazon Prime. Um, they've done games in the past with Peacock, so maybe people already have these streaming sites, but we'll see. I'm excited. I think it's a new generation of basketball, and I'm pretty excited to get this thing rolling. I wish it was already October.
for real.
Okay. Other games that I missed on the schedule. Um, I mean, there's some cool games. There's some, we got Cleveland twice on TV, which is nice. We mentioned the Rivals Week games. We mentioned the five straight New York, Golden State, Denver, Boston, Minnesota. We get New York twice on TV, actually. We get Detroit on TV. We get the Lakers, Denver a couple times. I mean, OKC's loaded this year, and it's really exciting. It's an exciting time. Um, let us know in the comments what you guys, what games you're looking forward to, what you think about all the streaming platforms and all that. But Jack, we are going to move on from the schedule. You have something to announce that we are about to be doing?
Yeah. So last week we made starting five spaced out of one position, which was point guards, and this year we're gonna this episode we're gonna do the same with shooting guards. So if I can try pull mine up.
I believe last week we had some comments. We had some comments on our point guards team, good and bad. But that's what we love. That's what we love.
So here's my shooting guard team. If you follow me on Instagram at the Thunder Coverage, then you would have seen this series already. But in hindsight, I would probably move James Harden to the 1, Victor Oladipo to the 3, and Alex Caruso to the 4, just based off the way Caruso could defend Jokic against the Nuggets, which the
Yeah. So
comments made
pretty
sure
much,
to let me know.
yeah, pretty much just explain like what this means. So this is the 5 best shooting guards that you think would fit together. 5 OKC shooting guards that you think would fit together in these positions, right? So Alex Caruso would be
In
the
a starting
first
lineup,
one.
yeah.
Gotcha.
So Thabo Sefolosha is the only shooting guard who's really played power forward for the Thunder, so
Right.
kind of slot him over one more. I think he played power forward for the Rockets in his last year. So, I mean, it's all hypothetical, but yeah, I think, yeah, and I ranked this team number 5 overall, but I mean, pretty good perimeter defense, but no interior defense and just not enough shooting or scoring surrounding Harden or consistent shooting or scoring. So
Yeah,
that's why I had them 5.
this has been OKC's backbone for years. The shooting might be a little horrendous in the shooting guard department, which is ironic. But I mean, look at the defense. For me personally, I'd go with Harden at the 1, Caruso at the I'd go Oladipo at the 2, Dort at the 3, Caruso at the 4, and Tabo at the 5. But either way, I mean, this is an absolute clamp lineup. Lou, Caruso, Tabo, all excellent defenders, all NBA defenders. Harden obviously can run the show. And, looking at it, I could make the argument for like Kevin Martin or Vo, but Vo fits this team much better if he's going to be, you know, with these guys. I'd also like to think that like Vo, we get a little bit of Indiana Pacer Vo instead of just OKC. But yeah, I completely
Yeah.
agree with the team.
Should we?
Yeah. So to finish up, we are going back to the schedule. We're going to throw out some really early record predictions for this Oklahoma City squad. We're not going to take you guys game by game because that's a lot of games. That's 82 straight win-loss predictions. But we'll kind of give a general analysis and give our prediction at the end. So, Jack, I'm going to let you start first here.
Well, we finished with 68 wins last year, and we know, I think we played maybe 10, 15 games as a full unit, so it logically has to be higher than 68. But the rest of the league, I mean, there's been so much movement that I could see it being around 74, I want to say 74, 75.
74, 75 wins this year. Breaking the all-time record this year, you're thinking?
For sure.
You got 74 wins. Sapphire has the same. Sapphire from our panel has the same.
I mean, this is a record-breaking defense. We're only getting better, so I don't know.
I agree.
What do you think?
I agree with you in that last take there. I do agree with the first take as well, where we played about like 10 games fully healthy, maybe all season last year, pre-playoffs.
Mm-hmm.
I went over the schedule. I can't sit here and say, all right, we were really good last year. We're going to get so much better this year, which I do believe is true. But I think, becoming the champion might have a little bit of regular season regression in the sense that maybe a few games we save our legs a little bit. Maybe a few games, guys like Cason Wallace, now that he has a ring, isn't going 110% the whole game. Not saying that it's going to happen, but it's a possibility. I'm going to stick around like the same 66 wins, 68 wins, just about like last year, 68-14. There are some long road trips. There are some long home stands. But I'm going to say 68-14 yet again. I think, towards the end of the season, we'll be sitting our players again. We may pick up a few losses, but we may not. I mean, the end of the season, we are in Los Angeles against both teams, and then at Denver, and then we come back home against Phoenix. I expect to be sitting a lot of our players those last 4 games, hoping that we already have the 1 seed or 2 seed wherever we fall. I do believe we'll have the 1 seed if I'm predicting 68 wins. But yeah, I think that last week we'll catch a few losses, and maybe early on we got a little bit of championship hangover. So I could see, I could see them break the record, but I'm not going to predict it.
Yeah, you make a good point where they either go out hungry again, to play like they did last year, or they cruise through the season and turn it up in the postseason. A bit, not to the extent that Indiana did, but a bit like Indiana last year, where they were just going through the regular season, then postseason came around, and then they gave it their all. But
I do believe that we are better than maybe 100% of these teams that we're playing.
Yeah.
But I do believe that this year there will be some nights that they don't go 110%, maybe a little bit of a more rotation. Because we saw, we're expecting to go far in the playoffs now. We're expecting to go, towards the finals yet again for the second season in a row. So we want to save our guys. And we want fresh legs for the playoffs. We saw a lot of our guys huffing and puffing towards the end. They were a bit exhausted. Yet I don't know if that will translate into losses, but I could see that translating into a few more losses. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah. But then on the flip side, we'll be healthy. Well, hopefully. So then there'll be a bigger rotation. So then more like we saw Alex Caruso rest a whole lot during the regular season, but that's because he was available for most of it. So, I mean, the strain was pretty heavy on the body, especially when he's playing the 5. So, I think, yeah, I'm going to stick with my 70. Well, breaks the win record, but I
Yeah,
think
74.
yeah.
Well, I mean, you also make another good point because we have a deeper rotation now. We got rookies, Topic, AJ Mitchell. Second year AJ Mitchell will be healthy. We got Sorber coming in.
We have about 15 rotational players. Like
This seems
it's not like
15
we have guys on the end of the bench we can't put in. Like
So we'll
even
see.
our two ways, yeah.
You're making me
Who
feel like
knows?
I'm being a little, humble.
I'm an optimist.
But,
What can I say?
yeah, I think it's realistic. But I guess that'll end our episode for this week. Again, we appreciate everybody who watches. It's been quite the ride so far. First year winning the championship, and now we're in our off season. The dog days of the off season. I'm very happy that the schedule came out, so we had some pretty big news to talk about. Again, if you're enjoying the content, hit the subscribe button. It's free to do. Like the video, leave a comment. We want to hear from everybody. We mean that. Right when I see a comment, I comment right back. So leave comments, give us your opinions, and we will see you guys next time. And I think this episode deserves a thunder up, baby. Let's go. Season's almost back.